Ladies and gentlemen, I do not own this or any of the creepypastas I read on this playlist, though I hope to write at least one of my own and read it here for you guys. I may make some verbal liberties with some of the words, but it is essentially the same story as I will link in the description below. All creepypastas can be found on the Creepypasta Wiki, I promise, unless they get deleted because I didn't know about it. That said, please enjoy the real Mario. We've all heard of the Mario. We've all heard of Mario. We know him as the heroic Italian plumber who fights Bowser and saves Princess Toadstool Peach, traveling across upbeat landscapes, but there's a darker side to his story, one that actually conceived our view of him. Mario was an Italian immigrant. His family moved to America in 1954, and like most people coming to America in those years, his family came through Ellis Island. As Mario and his family were herded down the inspection line, it was discovered that his mother was afflicted with tracheoma. She was immediately marked to be deported. His mother insisted that the family go on without her, and reluctantly they did, and continued to New York. The experience was extremely traumatic for Mario, and he began to develop an eating disorder. He starved himself to the point of death. Only through the support of his older brother Luigi was he able to recover, although his growth was stunted. This made him easily offended by the comments about his height. The next blow came when he was 16. His father was killed in a car accident, and he immediately fell into another depression. This time, Luigi, who had moved away, was not there to help him through it. Mario was on the verge of suicide. He began searching for suitable ways to end his life. He heard about an arms dealer who was willing to sell him a revolver. He ventured into the ghettos and found the dealer, but he was surprised when he was presented not with a firearm, but with a bag of brown and white mushrooms. He asked the man if they would kill him. The man said that the mushrooms wouldn't kill him, but they would make him feel better. Mario brought them, went home, and ate them. Immediately, he felt as if he was in another world. All his troubles faded away. Little orange turtles rode smiley-faced clouds. Red mushroom head people praised him as their king, and his mother came back to him. Princess Peach, he called her, and he retreated into the depths of his psychedelic paradise. As Mario's grasp on reality shrank, his indulgence in the mushrooms grew. He began growing them as well as other exotic and illegal plants. Mario also began breeding turtles for unknown reasons. Time went on, and Mario began having to take more and more mushrooms to remain high. Eventually, the mushrooms began having a different effect. His world became darker, and unrest among his subjects was evident, and reality began catching up with him as he was falling behind on his bills. Finally, his world was collapsed when he was kicked out of his house. Peach was taken from him once more. Brown and white mushrooms viciously devoured his friends. The turtles and plants he'd once loved betrayed him, and it seemed like the world he met met its end. That is, until the return of his brother. Luigi returned as soon as he learned about his father's death. He knew that Mario wouldn't be able to handle it, and he may attempt suicide, or worse. As he drove up to Mario's dilapidated, run-down house, his fears were realized. A large foreclosed sign was in the yard. He rushed past the house and found it empty, devoid of furniture and garbage strewn about to compensate. Luigi was crushed of what he believed was the death of his last surviving family member. He drove back to the airport, but along the way he noticed something very peculiar. A man devouring huge amounts of what appeared to be mushrooms. He bared a striking resemblance to Mario, so Luigi looked away, not wanting to be reminded of his brother's demise. But then he realized that was his brother. He immediately pulled over to the side of the road, rushed to Mario, and pulled him into his car. He sped to the nearest hospital while Mario convulsed in the back. Once he arrived, Mario was rushed to the emergency room. The doctors asked Luigi to leave. He agreed and vigilantly waited outside the door. Several hours. One of them stepped out and brought Luigi's the news. He was alive, but barely. But the dose of psilocybin mushrooms needed to cause an overdose was over 2,000 times the dose needed to have the hallucinogenic effects. Mario's mind had been irreparably damaged. But Luigi refused to accept this. He hired all sorts of health professionals to aid Mario. However, it seemed as if all the therapists and psychologists in the world would not be able to help him. He began to have delusions of Mario making progress and would gleefully present Mario with a sticker of the shape of the star whenever he felt he had acknowledged reality. Mario was happy in his new world. Princess Peach was back as well as his brother. He felt like he could do anything, smash through brick walls, jump on top of people's heads. He neglected to give his brother credit for anything, and remembered it as if he was the older brother. Luigi began losing his grip on reality as well. He would play along with Mario at times, and became what many people would call overly absorbed in his brother's world. Then Luigi was brought out of his stupor when he was presented with a proposition. Hiroshi Yamauchi, the third president of Nintendo, posed as a renowned psychologist. He claimed to have a cure for Mario's insanity. Yamauchi said that Mario would be flown to an advanced healthcare center in Kyoto, Japan, where he would receive the most technologically advanced treatment possible. The only drawback was that Luigi would not be able to come. Luigi agreed and said his goodbyes to his brother and returned home. He felt his brother was safe and returned soon, freed from his mental shackles. If only he'd seen what went on during the following years. Yamauchi had Mario immediately brought to the Nintendo headquarters. It was a failing business at the time, with a stock price of about 60 yen. This was his chance. He began questioning Mario about his world, using it to get ideas for his games. This led not only to the Mario franchise, but others such as Pokemon and The Legend of Zelda. This is how Nintendo rose from a small card company to become one of the main game-producing companies in the world. Perhaps Mario is still living there, generating ideas for great games that our children would play. Now, I need to ask you something. Whenever you see an episode of Pokemon, or buy one of the Super Mario games, please remember the real Mario, the one that made it all happen. I do not own this creepypasta, and I doubt it's actually real, although that would be kind of both twisted, scary, and cool. And that's it. Hope you enjoy your childhood getting destroyed again. Bye!